Yo, what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak here to bring you a nostalgia rush because I haven't done one in a while and I think you guys need a nostalgia rush. As I said, there will be certain nostalgia rushes I choose to have people on, and there will be nostalgia rushes while I won't. But to me, just because I won't have someone on a nostalgia rush every time, people need to realize that this is kind of more of an incentive for people to do responses. And this is one of the nostalgia rushes I want a response for, because the show I'm talking about is, to me, feels like kind of an underrated show within the Disney realm of shows during that whole era of like Recess and all the Disney animated version TV series of like previously established movies like the Tarzan TV show and the Gargoyles TV show, the Aladdin TV show. Like, I feel like this stuff, and even stuff like The Weekenders and Recess and Lloyd in Space, this show kind of got buried because the show only has 2 seasons and barely no one talks about it, let alone I think has actually seen it on TV. Even myself, I didn't originally see most of it on TV. I saw like maybe 5 episodes on TV because I'm a child and I'm not going to be that consistent with one Saturday mornings, if anyone remembers that. I don't remember. I kind of remember the theme song for it. I think this and Pepper Ann, mind you, I think is a lot more popular than this is, but it's still not hugely popular. But like the whole thing is, and Teacher's Pet. I totally forgot. I was thinking if there was another show that I remember watching a lot of. Teacher's Pet was another one. Anyways, and that one obviously did pretty well because that one actually got an actual fucking movie. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, I'm not even gonna say this week. I guess this nostalgia rush is on Fillmore. I'm on it. Yeah, Fillmore didn't really have a good catchphrase to use, and unfortunately its opening is literally just kind of like cop drama-ish music, so it's not like you can't even sing the theme. Damn it, there might be a reason why it wasn't as popular as the other shows. That's besides the point. Let's get into it. Okay, so for people who have never heard of Fillmore, which might be a decent amount of you, Fillmore was about these pretty much 2 main characters. It's pretty much like a cop drama set in a high school. Not high school, a middle school. Was it middle? Middle or elementary? I want to say middle. Probably middle school. I have a hard time telling because the themes feel like middle school, but like the shit that happens in the episodes make you feel like it's elementary stuff. It might be elementary, it might be middle school. I'm thinking middle school though. Pretty much you have Safety Patrol is the LAPD. We're gonna just say that. It has the whole commissioner and the higher ups and shit, which is pretty much like the Safety Patrol manager, Vallejo, and then like the principal's like the higher up. And then you have these 2, well, technically you have 1, and then 1 transfers in like the first episode. Your main character is Cornelius Fillmore, who is this black kid, which that's going to go into a side topic about the show I'll mention in a second, but Cornelius Fillmore, who is actually an ex-delinquent turning into a safety patroller. He's already gone through the transformation. You don't get to see it. He's already starting off as safety patrol when we're introduced to him. And then the character who transfers in, who ends up being his partner, is Ingrid Third, who is like this goth chick who isn't really goth but is goth. You'll get what I mean when you watch it. It's kind of a weird setup, but you'll get what I mean when you watch it. And pretty much you're just watching them go through cases. And that's every episode. For the most part, there are a few episodes that are focused on one more than the other. There's some episodes dealing with like Ingrid Third a lot. There are a lot of episodes dealing with Cornelius Fillmore a lot, especially with his past and the person who set him on the right tracks and all that other kind of shit. And let me just bring up this about Cornelius Fillmore and why I like this character so much. To me, he is a good, and I hate to do racial segregation bullshit. It just irks the shit out of me because then I'm like, oh well, I guess not everybody can watch it or understand what I mean. But to me, Fillmore comes off as a really cool black role model character for like little kids because he's a character who went from thug to he went from thug to good guy. And I know a lot of people always want to talk shit about that whole thug shit, like, oh, black people are so badly portrayed in the media, and like, like in cartoons and anime and manga and video games, like examples would be like Bob from Tendo Tinge and like Choco Love and like from Shaman King. There's probably one other one I'm thinking of. Hell, even in like Recess, Vince and Carter from fucking Weekenders, everyone wants to complain, but realistically, what kills me is that people get mad at that, but white people portrayed almost every facet of white people's stereotypical personalities are portrayed in cartoons all the goddamn time. But for whatever reason, when black people get portrayed, we're the ones who bitch about it. I'm just throwing it out there. That just seems kind of fucking hypocritical. It seems stupid as hell, like we're the only one who has that problem. And I remember, and I don't want to deviate too much, but I remember I used to be on that whole side of, yeah, Choco Love is just like a horrible black stereotype, because originally he was a thug, and then he turned into like a comedy-based guy who was all about the spirits and the African spirits and shit. But realistically, there's nothing wrong with that, because it's not like he went from being a comedy guy to a thug. He went from a thug to being a comedy guy, a better fucking person. Fillmore went from being a thug delinquent to a good guy / safety patroller. And I know people are going to be like, well, there was a white man that helped him, and look at all the fucking media bullshit. Shut the fuck up, okay? To me, it boils down to, does it send a good message to children? Yes, it does. I mean, you have a role model, and even without that whole who saved him and brought him to the path of goodness, there are still episodes where he's constantly tested and he does it on his own. So, shut the fuck up. I mean, as I said, I used to be on that road, but to me, to be on that road about, oh, he's a stereotype, so he's automatically kind of a lame character, I'm like, but he's still a good character. He still went from a bad place to a better place. I don't see what the problem is. And white people are portrayed just as ridiculously in the media too, like the surfer dudes and the fucking morons and the lazy people. Like, move the fuck on. Anyways, that was kind of a side rant. Nostalgia Rush Fillmore. As I said, I didn't really watch too much of the show when I was younger, because for one, I couldn't keep up with it, and two, it only lasted for 2 seasons. So to catch the new episodes was rare as hell, and then you ended up catching reruns maybe like once or twice before they took it off the air. The one fun fact I found out about the show is that Fillmore's voice actor is actually Eddie from That's So Raven. If anyone watched that show, I actually did watch That's So Raven pretty religiously when it first came on Disney Channel. I actually watched like a lot of the early seasons. Like I didn't stop. I literally think I watched that entire series from beginning to end. It was crazy, but which is weird as hell considering the show. But getting back to Fillmore, the thing I really liked about it was the fact that you had these two characters who were like non-conventional main characters. You're usually not used to seeing the ex-delinquent with like the new kid partnering up and solving all these cases. I even like the cases themselves. Like some of my favorite ones is probably like the whole tagging shit, where like when the girl's trying to get like new bathroom things installed, and she wanted a certain type of steel thing so that it didn't have stains on it, and the whole thing is them trying to figure out who's tagging the bathrooms. It's pretty much like a graffiti counterpart, except it's pretty much it is graffiti, but it's graffiti on like bathroom stalls and shit. And you have like this side plot with this other character named Randall, and and you get to hear this like backstory about how he used to be like known for his macaroni art, and then he started falling in place in like art contests and shit, and he became this tagger, that's what they called it, and he started like writing, and his whole thing was like Flavor Saver, as you're figuring out the shit with like the current issue, you're also dealing with Randall, because there's a point in the episode where he actually breaks loose out of his his permanent in-school suspension, that's what they called it, which essentially looks like prison, by the way. And it's just, I like that kind of shit. Even and a good example of like his temptation episodes is Fillmore goes to visit. We actually do get to see the person who saved him, the person who put him on the right path. He switched schools. There's an episode that's dedicated to him visiting that character at his school, and it's this whole dirty cop business. But obviously Fillmore doesn't really have that much jurisdiction because, well, he's not really from that school. So it's pretty much him saving the guy who saved him in the first place. And I thought that was a really cool episode too. There's a lot of just like cool drama episodes, and it was interesting to see certain episodes like there's one that plays off the classic, you know, you have to stop the guys from getting something, but you have to like play guard and do all the, it's kind of like the Home Alone formula, which is the episode where I think like there was a whole bunch of kids who wanted to cheat on a test, and Fillmore had to stay in during like winter break at the school, like actually sit in the school and stand guard to make sure no one stole the test. And you had this entire game in the school, like these 5 kids against Fillmore trying to get the test, and I was like, these are good episodes considering it's just a basic, like, it's like a childish cop drama, and I like that. The Ingrid third episodes, a lot of them deal with her. A lot of it, it's weird because the thing about Ingrid is obviously that she's a goth. She acts like she looks goth, and she doesn't act like a typical girl. But at the same time, Ingrid is actually pretty refined. Like you always hear like there are parts in the episodes where they're not together. Like there are some days like on weekends and shit, and Ingrid is like doing stuff with her dad. Like they're studying different languages. I even remember there was like an episode like, oh, I'll see you later because I have to go like study Spanish, or we're gonna do some Japanese cooking and shit. I was like, oh, okay. So Ingrid is a very cultured girl. She doesn't just like, even though she looks goth, she doesn't even play off the goth stereotype. Same thing with, well, actually Fillmore plays off like the 70s black kid stereotype, which really threw me off. Like, it's like you go from a thug to a good guy, so apparently your speech pattern changes into this whole set. Like, because every time he finds a clue, or not even a clue, but like every time they kind of like get a step closer, he always goes disco, and I was just like, disco, disco. Disco. Huh. Never heard that one. I think that was like the first time I actually heard anyone use disco that way. Actually, I mean, when I think about it now, it is kind of cool. No bullshit. I do like that. But it's just, Fillmore had a lot of things about it I enjoyed. I mean, obviously you had the mystery elements throughout the cases, and sometimes it was obvious, sometimes it was not. But I really like the episodes when it's not obvious because they usually threw side shit in that kind of intrigued you anyway. Mind you, there are some standard cases, and then there are some development cases, and then you obviously have the other characters in the quote-unquote police department / safety patrol, like Vallejo, the commissioner, who plays off that whole stereotypical commissioner where he's like, he always wants to do the right thing, but Fillmore and Ingrid end up like fucking him over in some way, shape, or form. Like the whole, what was it? It was the his dad had bought him a fishing pole, and he was so ready to go fishing, and I remember they had like thought they had solved the case but didn't, and he was all excited because like when they caught the thief, they were in the mail room where his fishing rod was used, and then like they had returned the fishing rod because you thought the fishing rod was going to get broken in the whole scuffle. Returned the fishing rod, and they put it behind the door, his door, and he opens the door and like breaks his fishing pole. I'm just like, oh, that's so cop drama. Like, and then he even does the whole thing like, Fillmore. Like, that was funny. The principal's voice actress I know because I hear her all the fucking time now. Or I keep hearing her randomly. And I can't place my finger on who it is. But that voice is so goddamn familiar. If you watch Fillmore, listen to the principal's voice. I know I've heard that voice somewhere else, and I can't think of it, and it pisses me off. It's an older lady, I know that much, but I cannot for the life of me think of who voices her. I wanted, even to a point, I almost thought Ingrid was voiced by Raven's voice actress originally when I heard it. I was like, nah, I actually haven't looked it up. She might actually be, I'm not sure. I'm just curious about anyone's thoughts on the series. I don't know. When it came to the episodes, as I said, I like the golf episode, which is essentially Fillmore has like this traumatic issue with golfing because he's really good at golf, but he stopped playing because the last time he played is when he was still on that delinquent shit, and he actually like what he tried to join the golf team, and they wouldn't let him join the golf team. So ultimately, a mean-spirited bastard, what he decided to do is he decided to beat them all at golf, and then take their trophies as a prize, and it's just like you're just sitting there like, wow. I mean, mind you, the nigga, he pretty much hustled the shit out of him, but it wasn't like he didn't know how to play. Like, he was good at golf, legitimately good at golf, and the episode was a lot about him trying to getting past that trauma and just reneging on his past mistakes, essentially. Reneging actually might not be the best word, but I'm pretty sure it's not actually. Renege seems to be that seems like something you would do on agreements where, like, you agree to something and then you renege. So I don't think that's the right word. I'm going way too far into that shit. If you're wondering why I haven't really mentioned that many Ingrid episodes, maybe it's not because she doesn't have episodes to her, but my favorite episodes have always been the Fillmore ones. Maybe because you can kind of relate to them more, or because Ingrid's episodes to me, kind of like, they're kind of geared towards girls. I mean, you can enjoy Ingrid's episodes, the episodes that are focused on her as a character, especially when Fillmore's on like some bullshit. And I like that too. Like there will be episodes where he becomes really, like, Fillmore's that character who would get really addicted to a case, and Ingrid has to come over and be like, "Whoa, come here, come here, Fillmore. You're on some bullshit. Chill out for a minute. You're fucking up." That's what Ingrid does. Plus that she doesn't really, it's not even like a good cop, bad cop thing. But Ingrid, also I just kind of like her comedy. Like the first episode, she's like, the first episode of the series is like, she's actually a part of the first case because the case is based around her being a suspect. And she ends up helping to clear her own name, while at the same time kind of gaining Fillmore's trust, because Fillmore does that whole, "I don't have any partners" bullshit. Because obviously Fillmore is such a hard ass, even though the nigga used to be a delinquent, so it's kind of funny. Plus that is based on a fucking, like, a middle school / elementary school, so it's like, the fuck you on? But I don't know, I just really like the show. I feel like the show should have got a lot more attention than it did. And to me, maybe it's because of the time period it came out. I think it came out like, what, the early 2000s? Like 2004 or something? 2004, 2003, somewhere around there. And maybe it was the time period, I'm not sure, but I feel like, also I want a DVD release for Fillmore. I would actually buy that. Obviously I have all the episodes and buy other venues, but I would love to get a DVD, like, not a box set, but just like a DVD set of Fillmore. A lot of old school cartoons aren't released. Oh yeah, that brings up another thing. Family Matters isn't released on DVD yet. What the fuck is up? What the fuck is up? You got Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on DVD, but you ain't got fucking Family Matters on DVD. That's bullshit. Anyways, that's pretty much my opinions on the show. I thought it was really fun. I enjoyed it. It had a good sense of drama. Obviously, I can see why it kind of failed, because it doesn't really have a lot of sticking points to it. Like, even coming to the opening music, and like, there's no theme song for Fillmore, and then on top of there being no theme song, like, the characters are important, but the problem is that certain characters don't really reappear, and like, some of them you just don't give a damn about. They're kind of just important for that case, and then they're just kind of glossed over. So I can kind of see why people were like, I can see why people were just kind of like uninterested, because for one, the main characters don't appeal to everyone. They're kind of like niche characters. Maybe that's what it was, but that's essentially my thoughts on it. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I enjoyed the show. I really like to see video responses from anyone else who watched the show and what your favorite episode is. You might have to go rewatch some episodes like I did, because I don't know, I got back into a Fillmore high. Right now I'm in like a spectacular Spider-Man high. I've watched like the first half of season 1. I need to finish it. And and yeah, I'll get to Avatar eventually. I'm just dicking around. Plus that I'm tired. But anyways, this has been the Insane Game Freak. Life's a game, play to win. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Disco.